Okay, welcome everyone to the November 4th, 2024 edition of the Localization Subproject meeting for the Kubernetes community. As always, my name is Abby, and as we go through our agenda today, remember that we are part of the CNCF Code of Conduct. So all people should abide by that, which boils down to just be nice to each other as we go through our agenda and as we chat, and then, anything going on in the meetings. And so to kick off today, let me share my screen. And then our first item is to see if there are any new folks who would like to introduce themselves if you're new to the call.
Hi, I'm new to the call. I'm Paul Strong. I'm here in California with a company called Transitivity. Motivated to join because I was engaging with the discussion with a few folks around definitions and the glossary. The work that I'm doing around modeling of systems, including Kubernetes, sort of drives me towards being somewhat obsessive and compulsive when it comes to rigor and specificity with regards to definitions. So I've been having some fun going through the Kubernetes documentation and trying to figure out an appropriate way to contribute, do the best I can to help everyone along. Thanks.
Awesome. That's really cool. We do get a lot of folks actually coming over from the CNCF Glossary project to help out with docs, and specifically a lot come and join in this meeting for localization groups. So just wanted to say that just to check, this is topics about localization, and then there is also a regular meeting that happens on Tuesdays, every other Tuesday. So if you'd like to join in that, I'm sure that's also a lot of interesting.
I would, and it magically disappeared from my calendar. So if
oh no,
that would be awesome.
Yeah, so I don't think it's this Tuesday because we had one last week, so it should be there for next Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah, those meetings are also all recorded, so if you want to see any of the recordings on what's happening, it's a good way to catch up. And welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. And our first agenda item, I'm not exactly sure who added this, but it is for a request for feedback regarding the localization of title strings in Hugo. We've spoken of the issue. Oh, from Asim. So this is from the Bengali localization. Currently, all title strings in Hugo.toml are non-localized. This PR introduces changes for the Bengali localization, which is not standard across localization teams and may cause confusion. Therefore, we need feedback from other teams. Looks like the Arabic team has also adopted this. Let's see. I mean, I will always be in favor of standardization. So I think it would be great if we wanted to start including this more. But I will also post about this into Slack to try to get a little more visibility since we are a little bit light agenda here today. Paul, I'm not sure if you have any other thoughts or questions in general about how we do localizations that you wanted to chat about.
Not at this point. I'll just monitor and come up to speed and learn. Thank you.
Okay, cool. To Asim in the Bengali localization, I will also post about this in Slack to see if we get some broader eyes on it. But thank you for raising it. The last item, this is also part of it. It's an option for changes suggested by Tim. Okay, so this is definitely something we have to dig into a little bit more. But I am not up on the latest for it. And that brings us to the end of our kind of light agenda items. But I will post about this in Slack and try to respond in the issue as well. So we can kind of move this along. It seems like it's been open for a bit. So we could try to get some more consensus on what to move forward there. Okay, so I guess I know this is a very light agenda and light attendance group for you, Paul, but do you have any questions or if you want me to walk through or send over some links on the localization docs or have any questions on where to join?
Yeah, a couple of links would be helpful.
Okay, cool. Is there a particular localization group that you would be interested in joining, or just sort of wanting to see more about the process?
I think just see more about the process. I've had the pleasure in my life of funding these initiatives, but not having really had to participate in them a great deal. All of my standards work and everything in the past was with other bodies like OpenStack and DMTF and
Mhm.
grid stuff. So I'm looking forward to becoming more engaged with a different community. So
Yeah, awesome. So the Kubernetes localization is the only localization effort that I've been a part of. So it would actually be interesting to hear um, feedback from around how other groups do it. But we sort of, we do it all primarily in GitHub. And each language is able to form their own team and sort of organize however they want. And then they contribute back
yeah,
to the docs, that sort of way. So there's a lot of autonomy within each team to sort of organize if you want to have meetings regularly or do everything asynchronously, however that works, for the contributor base that you have within your language. But then, everyone subscribes to the standards from the Kubernetes and what SIG had said, and how to engage in like the actual website and form a community. But otherwise, each team is sort of their own sort of variety on how they like to organize and do their work. So yeah, so it's a really interesting sort of group of people.
that makes sense. What has to be done from a central coordination perspective? So certainly in my life at Google, everything was pushed out to the edge to empower individual engineers and contributors to do what was necessary. And then the ATLs or others would kind of, where there was coordination. I'm curious what kinds of coordination are necessary here in the localization stuff. If some group brings something up, does it get pushed through to others? They might like to consider the same kind of things, or what is generally?
Yeah, so sort of like how the Bengala team wants to do a little bit of standardization within the Hugo file, which is like
Yeah,
the configuration file, which we don't have set up right now. So that's
right.
like exactly what you were saying. Each team
Yeah,
can come up with an idea that they can share with a broader group, and that's sort of why the sub projects exist, so that we have a place to talk about it. And we have our localization channel. We can kind of share ideas, and then also um, you know, have any sort of policies or recommendations on how to set up and tips and tricks or whatever on the
yeah.
best ways that have
Okay.
been figured out by the community on how to set things up, because it can be a little bit. I mean, localization is not easy, and it takes lots of people to keep a large localization effort going because Kubernetes has lots of docs.
Yeah.
So that's sort of what the basis of our group is aimed at, is trying to create things that are a little bit easier, so
I
it
think
makes it
that's
easier
great.
for future people. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's great. My participation in the past was in a space where localization wasn't considered quite so much in the standards bodies, to our detriment. And so it's very nice
Hmm.
to see that this is being done in a much better way, because I think it was just driven by the Anglophone world, which was
Yeah,
unhelpful in some ways.
we've had a lot of really great participation from lots of different uh, languages and lots of different structures of languages. So the Arabic localization is a team that's being set up right now. So a lot, it's, there's the head that they have to meet a minimum requirement, and then they go live and launch onto the website. And something the local Arabic team has been helping um, push for is to get the right to left language uh, set up. We did not have that before, but I think we
That's
still have
great.
to finally get it implemented. But there's been a lot more traction since the Arabic team's been put together to get that going
That's
in the
cool.
past year. So yeah, so we've had a lot of different perspectives, and we have a lot of um, ability to bring issues to SIGDocs, which is the broader group for Kubernetes, to highlight where areas that the whole website can be improved to make it better for localization teams. So I think it's been really a positive group, and it also is a big area that we get a lot of new contributors into the project because they maybe don't have the knowledge area to do the actual content writing in the English
Right.
docs, but they can help do localization efforts and get used to the flow of submitting a PR and what the processes are, and start adding into the contributor ladder if that's what they want to get more involved into the project. So yeah,
Very cool. Very cool. Thanks.
awesome. Yeah, it's really awesome part of the project. So I'm happy to have you here. Um, we can keep chatting, or I can sort of uh, stop on the recording.
I think so for the
And
recording.
we
I
can,
might
yeah.
have some other questions, but I'm pretty sure the
Okay.
rest of the group are not interested in that.
Okay, great. Let me figure out how to do that. I'll hit stop. And for anyone watching in, the next meeting will be Our next monthly meeting will happen December 2nd. So hope to see you there. And I will hit stop.